Donald Trump was having a 12:15 a.m. meltdown as he fears his impeachment, as he fears accountability with the midterms right around the corner. Donald Trump posting the following at 12:15 a.m., a photo of him and Xi Jinping of China, and he writes, White House report details, great transshipment scam costing tens of billions of dollars in tariff evasion. You're bragging about the tariff evasion, how you got utterly outmaneuvered by China. What the hell are you posting at 12:15 a.m.? Then a few hours before that, Donald Trump posted, watch the 2026 Patriot Games, primetime special on ABC. Yeah, no thank you. That's the event in Ohio that you pre-recorded where you were being really creepy with the little girls. Yeah, we're not going to watch that. In any event, you even have Ron DeSantis, the MAGA Republican governor of Florida, calling out Elon Musk and Donald Trump as a failure. That's how you know that Donald Trump is the ultimate loser, when you've got Ron DeSantis even calling him out. The failure of Doge in one sentence, says Ron DeSantis. Breaking. The U.S. federal government has posted a record July budget deficit of $432 billion. Also, at above $4 a gallon, gas prices have never been this high so late in the year ever. The pain at the pump has been elevated since the catastrophic war in Iran began. Literally, we've never had higher gas prices on a national average basis in the month of August ever in the history as we do right now. Also, you have headlines like this: why surging bond yields are not lifting Bitcoin as U.S. debt nears 40 trillion. Yes, we're about to hit $40 trillion in debt, and about 35% of that debt is brought to you by Donald Trump and the other people who claim to be fiscal hawks, deficit hawks, the most reckless individuals with our money, the taxpayer money ever. Now, with all of this going on, you would think, all right, Trump regime, can you get the hell out of Hormuz? Can you get the hell out of Iran? Our Navy sailors and Marines aboard these supercarriers are suffering. Hat tip to the Military Times and Stars and Stripes and MS Now, and particularly Aaron Parnas, affiliated with the MeidasTouch network, for his groundbreaking reporting there. Also, I got to give a hat tip to Katie Fang as well. As the walls close in on Donald Trump, it's amazing to see MeidasTouch hosts like Aaron Parnas and Katie Fang leading the way, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Aaron's incredible reporting, which I think is award-winning reporting, regarding the service members on our supercarriers being treated horribly by the Trump regime in conditions worse than the worst prisons. And then you have Katie Fang fighting for Epstein documents to be released. She had a huge hearing yesterday where the federal judge ordered the Trump regime to produce that redaction log of 5 million documents listing what they're withholding, and to produce other critical documents, including the notes regarding allegations against Donald Trump, which he denies, from an underage girl, and to produce the underlying notes, not just the 302s. So you've got all of that going on. And you would think, though, the lesson would be, let's leave this catastrophic war. Nope. That's not what war criminal Pete Hegseth says in a recent interview. And we saw Pete Hegseth say this in Panama as well. This is how Reuters is reporting it. U.S. can keep naval blockade on Iranian ports indefinitely, Hegseth says. Hegseth, yes, the U.S. could do a forever war against Iran. Question, sir, how long can the U.S. hold its blockade of the Strait? Can it hold it indefinitely? Secretary Hegseth, we can hold it as long as we need to, indefinitely. The United States Navy can maintain a blockade like that because we'll rotate ships in and out, as we have and will continue to. No other nation on earth, no other Navy on earth has the capability to have a wall of steel like the U.S. Navy, and then the willingness to use it as we have. So Iran knows it can't get in and out on this blockade, and they know that there's no timeline on it either. We'll hold it as long as we need to. Yeah, I guess Iran doesn't know that the United States has run out of weapons. idiot Hegseth and idiot Trump, who have bankrupted most things they've touched in their life. Hegseth couldn't run the nonprofit military organization that he was once a part of because of mismanagement and his own disgusting allegations against him. Donald Trump's bankrupted company after company. And now they bankrupted our military. We're out of Patriot interceptors, those PAC-3s. We're out of THAAD interceptors. We're out of SM-2, SM-3, and other anti-ballistics aboard our Navy destroyers. We're out of ATACMS. Close to 25 to 30% of our MQ-9 Reaper drones are destroyed. Most of our bases in the Middle East are destroyed. We're not able to give our sailors and Marines aboard the supercarriers food, nutrition, for them to be able to sustain their bodies. Okay, the messages that we keep on getting in at the MeidasTouch Network, keep sending them to Aaron Parnas, all the whistleblowers out there, the family members, people aboard the ships. Thank you for sharing. I just want to let you know, when I go to sleep, when I wake up, when we run this network, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you and your courageous families and your courageous loved ones who are on that ship, who are being tortured by this Trump regime. And we're fighting every day for you. We're fighting for humanity and empathy, frankly, around the world. And this Trump regime is a regime of war criminals. They're a regime of traitors. They hate the military. They hate this country, sadly. And they hate happiness. Like, they're real evil, sick people, but I digress. But Hegseth says, we'll hold it as long as we need to. Yeah, we're out of weapons. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, you're just going to make things worse and worse and worse. And oil prices are going to continue to go up. It is not good. It is not good. And by the way, CENTCOM is now defamed. When I say they hate our military, when I say Trump and the CENTCOM leadership hate our military, I'm not like it's sad that I have to say that, but even yesterday, they attacked the MeidasTouch network. They defamed the family of the sailors and Marines, and they defamed the sailors and Marines. They attacked them. They said that they're liars. They said that the family members of Marines and the Navy who are telling us about these horrible conditions are lying. Don't you dare call them a liar. You know who the liars are? You and the Trump regime, you and the military leadership, these Trump bootlicking sycophants, not the great generals that we once had and the great admirals who have been pushed out by disgusting Hegseth and disgusting Trump and this disgusting regime, not our talented, the people right now who are there lying and saying, we control the strait, we control the strait, when we don't. Shame on all of you, and don't you dare ever defame our service members. I don't care if you wear the uniform. If you defame our service members, then and while wearing the uniform, don't you dare ever do that, ever. It is shameful. It is a shameful thing. And it is despicable to see people wearing the uniform defame our service members, to see also 5-time draft dodgers like Donald Trump defame our military, who are out there suffering right now. Just feed our troops. Treat them like human beings. What the hell is going on? They deserve all our respect and our reverence. And it just pisses me off when you all lie and Hegseth and this person, oh, we're treating them well. We're treating them well. You're not. You absolutely are not. Meanwhile, you have Democratic Congresswoman Ansari saying, in response to Hegseth, saying, well, I'm being told by the military leadership that everything's great. No, it's not. Absolutely unacceptable, Ansari says. Incompetent Trump officials like Hegseth have repeatedly put American service members in grave danger, and now we know they're being forced to endure horrific conditions. I've introduced articles of impeachment against Hegseth. I urge my colleagues to join me and hold him accountable. And you want to know how desperate these MAGAs are? You have people like Tafoya in Minnesota who's running for Senate, and their whole thing is, oh, we're going to just mock trans people. We're going to mock trans people. It's just so disgusting. Here, play this clip right here.
Are we subjecting kids to this? I was just at an event, and a woman came up to me and she said, I think my number one issue now, I'm a single issue voter, is this trans stuff and subjecting these kids to it and allowing men and women's sports. It is something that is really upsetting a lot of Minnesotans, moms and dads. They want their kids back.
Yeah, they do. And
what they're talking about too is doing these electric hands, where they want to do these stun gloves in ice and torture people. Did you see this? This is what they're focused on. Here, play this clip.
With ICE tactics already facing fierce scrutiny, tonight the Department of Homeland Security is planning to spend up to $20 million on specialized gloves agents can use to incapacitate someone with an electric shock simply by touching them. DHS describing them as de-escalation devices, saying their officers are trained in use of force.
Give me your hands, give me your hands. Oh!
The technology called the glove or generated low output voltage emitter seen here in a demo from the manufacturer.
You ready? Here you go. Oh!
But let's listen to what the service member families are saying aboard these super carriers. Here, play this clip.
You know, fresh food is a problem, especially considering the conditions right now. There's a logistical problem with getting fresh food out there just based on where they are, right?
All he's really told me is there's a time where he was only eating half a cup of rice and 2 tortillas.
They want our support. And part of that support means we have to have the tools to do our job. That means the fuel. That means the food, right? That means the food. That means the toothpaste and the deodorant. That means all of it, right?
I don't think it's the ship is the issue. I think it's our president, it's our government.
And here's former Lieutenant Commander Julie Rowland, who lived aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln once. She knows better than most what the Lincoln crew is experiencing right now. 200 days without a single port call, that's impossible to imagine. It's not normal, it's never been normal, and nobody should pretend otherwise, as the fine folks at VoteVet say. Here, let's play this clip right here.
You have lived aboard that ship. Tell me what it's like.
It's 5,000 folks living on a piece of floating metal together. I did deployment workups on the Lincoln, so preparation for deploying. You don't have privacy. You have limited Wi-Fi, if any. You don't have to commute to work, but your life is work all the time. It's very hard. And you normally get a port call about once a month, some 30 to 45 days. You're far away from your family. You're gone for long periods of time, 6 months, 7 months. And these can be extended. And we've seen long extensions, but typically not without port calls. So it's a big sacrifice to be away this long. It's incredibly grueling work, and it's already a sacrifice to do. Any folks who say this is what people signed up for, they probably didn't sign up to do this without port calls, with inadequate food, mental health care services, and a lack of accountability with their families and indefinite extensions. So even if this is what they signed up for, it's terrible to hear without text messages. We're not going to have great retention. We're certainly going to have worse recruitment if this is what we're saying the deal is to join. And most importantly, those folks actively serving who are in theater right now are not going to be able to operate at their best. This is not lethality when we don't even have humanity to take care of our people out there.
Even state regime media can't hide what's happening right now. The affordability metrics, here's what they're talking about. Let's play it.
What was disappointing in this report, though, Stu, is the affordability metrics that I like to look at most closely were not good. So when I talk about affordability, I'm talking about real wage growth. Is someone's wages growing faster than inflation? That's when things become more affordable. If we look at real hourly earnings, they were actually down, 0.2% year over year. Real average weekly earnings were up 0.1%. Why? Because people are working more hours. So that's not what we want to see from an affordability standpoint. We want to see people working the same and making more money. We don't want them to have to work against the clock just to be able to afford to put gas in their vehicle.
More from state regime media about how harmful inflation is. Let's play this clip right here.
And unfortunately, we have more ground to go, because if you look at real wages after you account for inflation, everyday Americans' paychecks aren't keeping up with the price increases still. And that's a problem.
And then you have Donald Trump ordering the United States Navy to restore older tech on aircraft carriers, costing billions. The Navy spent years fighting the president's push to go back to stream catapults. Trump has directed the Navy to abandon the electromagnetic aircraft launch system being used on the Gerald Ford class carriers and return to traditional steam catapults. According to U.S. officials cited by the Wall Street Journal, Trump signed a national security memorandum directing the Navy to redesign the fourth Ford-class carrier, Doris Miller, and subsequent ships around steam catapults. The first three carriers, Gerald Ford, John F. Kennedy, will retain what it should. Why would you do steam catapults? And we have Senator Kelly, who has experience in this more than anybody, really. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
at least that I am aware of. I mean, today the Wall Street Journal reported that Trump has directed the Navy to tear out a complex system for launching jet fighters from its aircraft carriers and instead go back to using steam catapults. This sounds crazy even to people who are not experts. I mean, this is something that will likely cost billions of dollars, but can you explain what exactly this means, what the impacts here could be?
Well, the impact is redesigning the newer ships that are part of the Ford class of aircraft carriers. And it's a big redesign, and it's probably going to cost billions of dollars. And by the way, Donald Trump knows nothing about this stuff. Hey, even for me, I have hundreds of carrier landings, and I've been shot off the front of the ship hundreds of times. I was a test pilot that worked in certifying the takeoff and landing systems for aircraft carriers, and I have a master's degree in aeronautical engineering and a bachelor's degree in marine engineering. Not in any world would I ever suggest to the Navy to change the design of some system on a ship at this point. I mean, does the guy know nothing about the way our government is supposed to work and how it's supposed to be managed? For him to get in these details, especially with his background, I mean, what is his background? He's a marginally failed real estate developer, right, with multiple bankruptcies. He shouldn't be weighing in on systems on aircraft carriers. But for some reason, like something like 6 years ago, somebody said something to him, and he's been fixated on this issue that to a president of the United States should not be an issue.
Yeah,
And then you have this performative, crazy stuff by Governor Abbott. This is what MAGA Republicans are doing right now. I don't know what the heck this even is, but here, you can play this clip. And then you have Brian Kilmeade over at State Regime Media Fox. They want to spend their time talking about Sophie Cunningham. Let's play it.
Well, years later, guess what? It's pretty equal. So now I think there's confusion in the beginning, but now there's fear. And look what Sophie Cunningham's going through now. Yeah. Look at the hard foul she's getting. Look at the ridicule she's receiving because she's standing up for it. Look at Riley Gaines been marginalized with The Athletic. This is the last gasp of the woke era. This is why this is so much bigger than just a gender story. This is the DEI story. This is tear down the America is a flawed country. Tear down the statue story. Put your pronouns at the bottom of your email.
Yeah, no, the American people are suffering right now. We see what's happening. We see this regime of war criminals, and Donald Trump knows that a reckoning is coming. That a reckoning is coming. And the American people are sick and tired of this idiotic, authoritarian, criminal, rogue regime. And the American people are going to stand up right now. Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Make sure you not only subscribe, but if you can, get a copy of WTF America, the book I wrote with my brothers. We appreciate you. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, if you want the full story, how democracy got here and how we take it back, pre-order our new book, WTF America, today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.